Yeah, I am. My name is Antoana. I'm 22 years old, currently doing a bachelor at Fontys, international business, and this is my third year. So right now I am in semester 5. Yeah, and I have my internship, and then my electives, another internship, and I need to graduate. So I can tell you my experience for the first, second, and the third year.
Nice. And Antoana, you are from?
I'm from Bulgaria.
Yeah. And you are now in which country?
I am studying in the Netherlands, in Eindhoven, and now I am in Bulgaria for the holidays, and I'm flying again in 4 days.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you very much. Yeah, just a few words about me. My name's Alex. I'm also a former student of the Fontys University Applied Sciences. Like Antoana, I also studied international business. But Antoana, the only difference is that Antoana studies in Eindhoven. I did study in Venlo. Also, coincidence, I'm also from Bulgaria. At the moment, I'm not in Bulgaria. Unfortunately, for the holidays, I couldn't travel. But yeah, what do I do at the moment? I'm a lecturer. So like Antoana said, we can tell you a little bit about the student side of the university, and I will tell you a few things about, from the lecturer side, because I'm also one of the people that are supervising students during their internships, for instance. It's something that Antoana said is coming up next for her. Okay, Antoana, can you just mute your microphone that I don't hear myself? Is that possible? And whenever whenever you would like to say something, just unmute and start right away, or I will just ask you a few things. Yeah. Nice. For all the others, if you would like to participate, if you have some questions or something, easiest way is, of course, by placing it in the chat. So just ask your question in the chat. Why? Because we have a few colleagues that are specifically taking care of the chat. Yeah. And of course, at a later stage, when we're done with the presentation, of course, you're free to unmute yourself and then directly, talk to Antoine and me if you like. Okay. As I just said, use the chat mainly, and then in the end of the presentation, you can unmute and we can talk like we usually would have done when we would have like a live presentation in the Netherlands, for instance. Okay, let me just start with a first question to you before we have a look at actually where the Netherlands is. I'm sure most of you know that. I would like to ask all the participants that just joined, where are you from? Like from which country are you writing actually in the moment? You can just drop it quickly in our chat so that we know what kind of people we do have right now in the classroom. I see Ukraine, Russia, Warsaw, Poland, Germany, again Russia, again Ukraine, Ireland. Wow. Wait. I have to. We have Bulgaria, Basque Country, Czech Republic, Luxembourg, Sri Lanka, Cyprus, Greece. Did I forget someone? You wrote Hungary. Nice. Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Romania. Very good. Bulgaria again, Greece again. Nice. Okay, Dubai. We have one more from Dubai, I see. Okay, that's very nice, huh? That's a very nice mix that we have right now. Great. I didn't see just anyone from the Netherlands, but okay, no problem. Okay. So you all know, I guess, where the Netherlands is. You can see it marked over here. Of course, if we have a look at the neighboring countries, we have on the left side the UK. Yeah. We have at the bottom Belgium, and we have on the right side Germany. That's, by the way, where I am located at the moment. I live in Germany, and I used to study in the Netherlands, and now work in the Netherlands. So that's something also pretty common for our campus in Venlo that is located close to Germany. We have a lot of students living in Germany and then traveling to the Netherlands from time to time. Okay, what we can see here is a typical Dutch city. Yeah, this is the city of Eindhoven. So Antoana, that's your city where you are studying. What can we see on this picture? Eindhoven is the 5th largest city of the Netherlands. Fifth largest, usually when I don't know what about you, but when I hear like fifth largest city, I imagine, like skyscrapers, huge buildings, I think of something like Hong Kong, Shanghai, pictures. The thing is that the Netherlands looks a little bit different, so we have the fifth largest city that you can see over here. I can see a little skyscraper, what I can see a little bit more is maybe smaller houses, a lot of green, and something that you will see when you are in the Netherlands, you will see a lot of bikes. Yeah. And what we can see on this slide over here is the statement that there are more bikes than actually inhabitants in the Netherlands. So this will be my next question to all participants. How many people do live in the Netherlands? You know that. How many million people do live in the Netherlands? Just type it in the chat. How many million? 17 million. Directly the first reply and the second reply. Yes. We have Yetish and we have Yasmin directly with the right. Yeah, maybe 20 million, not yet, but we're going there, I guess. Marianne, exactly. So we have 17 million and we have even more bikes because people have 2 bikes. Yeah. So what you can see is not a lot of skyscrapers, but a lot of bikes. Antoine, what about you? How do you travel? Yeah, unmute, and then.
Yes. Well, I have a bike, of course.
Yeah.
I had a few when I came to the Netherlands, because one is never enough. So this is my main transportation. But recently I got the OV chip card. Maybe you will tell about it further in the presentation. And I also use the buses when I can, if it's too rainy, and yeah, and if I have the time, because usually with the bike is faster than with the bus, I take the bus.
Okay, yeah, and the bike lanes, I mean, they're quite nice as far as I know, right?
Oh yeah, they're amazing. Even this summer, with a friend, I did a trip from Rotterdam to Den Haag with the bike. And
how far is it?
I don't know, maybe 2 hours, but I don't know how many kilometers was it. It's not that far, maybe 15, 20 kilometers. And it's super nice. You can travel everywhere in the Netherlands with bike, from one city to another. And my friends are going to Belgium and to Germany also with bikes.
Okay, perfect. So bike is the thing in the Netherlands, and you already had a few, as you said. That is good to know. Okay. The next slide, usually I would have to tell you why is it good to study in the Netherlands, but I prefer that all the participants tell me, why do you think there are so many people coming to study in the Netherlands? By the way, on the slide you see a few of our students. So why do you think these people came to study in the Netherlands? What are the main reasons that people consider and come to study in the Netherlands? Just type it in the chat box. Good education. I agree with you. Because of diversity. Yes. The beer and the football. I love beer. I love football. I agree with you. English speaking, cosmopolitan, English. Yes. Yeah. Open-minded people and good teachers. It's very good to hear. Friendly people. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. You already mentioned. Yeah, we have something more. Many tourists. Yeah, a lot of tourists. Exactly. That is true. You already mentioned high level of life. Yeah, high living standards. Yes, exactly. Huh? What you just said is correct. Huh? So let me just start. English speaking. Yeah, over 95% of the people in the Netherlands speak very good English. Yeah, little children, elderly people. Antoine, maybe you can confirm that if you unmute and then. Yeah, is it? Do you speak Dutch? Do you need Dutch? Antoine? Yeah, I think Antoine will join us in a little bit, and then she can tell us more about that. She told me she has some connection problems, but no problem. Yeah, so English level. Most people speak wonderful English in the Netherlands. What did you say? Many tourists. That okay? Friendly people, happy people. Exactly. The Netherlands is actually one of the countries in the top 10 of the most happy people in the world, and actually. Also very special, the Netherlands is among the countries with the most happy children in the world. Yeah, so in general, you're right. Very happy people, friendly, smiling people. You will see that when you're in the Netherlands, actually. Very open-minded people, as you said. The diversity. You have a lot of different thinking people in the Netherlands. Yeah, safe living. Exactly, safe living. Yeah, I can only confirm that. I've been studying in the Netherlands as well for several years. It's a safe country to be in. Yeah, definitely. What else did you say? Good teachers. Yeah, teachers or lecturers, how we call them. Very often with work experience. Yeah, so not only people that are just teaching, but that can also tell something from their own personal experience. Beer and football. Yes, Heineken, maybe one of the most famous beers around the world. Yeah, at least with the most special marketing campaigns. Yeah. Football, definitely Dutch football team, for the ones that like football, like me, for instance. Good education, exactly. The Netherlands is said to be one of the countries with the best price performance ratios in the world. So for this price that you are paying, you get one of the best education possible in the world. Lots of scholarships too, you're saying. Yes, there are some scholarships, yes, but again, it depends on the university, the area, exactly. But there are scholarships as well, yes. I agree with that. So you mentioned actually all of the things that I would have said. Of course, also very special in the Netherlands that most of the study programs you can study in Dutch, you can also study in English. Yeah, so not only people speak English, but also the education is in English. Again, yeah. Now, why do you think, because we're now talking about Fontys, why do you think people do come to study at Fontys specifically? You have different universities in the Netherlands, but why do you think people come to study at Fontys? What do you think are the reasons? Again, type it in the chat box. Then I can tell
Can you
you
hear
why
me
I
now?
came. Yes,
Oh,
Antoine,
okay.
I can hear you. Is it
Yes,
better?
I'm sorry I had some problems. Okay, I'm muting again.
Yes, no problems. Now you're back. Okay. First comment already. Lots of, no, we have, it's an applied sciences university, exactly. And I will comment on that a little bit later. Work experience in a company after graduation, exactly. Also work experience, internships, exactly. Yeah, any other reasons? What do you think? Maybe one fact that you should know, 10% of the students in the Netherlands study at Fontys. So each 10th student in the Netherlands is a Fontys student. Why? Organized programs. What do you mean with organized programs? You mean like a good organization, good structure, or what do you mean? Yeah, it's one of the best universities in the statistics. You mean in the rankings? Yes, exactly. We have specific Dutch rankings, it's not the international rankings, but we have specifically rankings for all Dutch universities, and usually Fontys is each year at least in the top 5. Yeah, really good equipment for IT. We have a VR room. Yes, it's one of the main. IT is one of the main specializations of Fontys, and of course you have good equipment for that. Yes. Kind people study there and the teachers are awesome. That is a great comment. That's very good to hear. Sounds like a fun city to study in, good organization and a strong curriculum. Okay, so the study programs are nice, that you good information. Exactly. So you mentioned a few very good points. Must have great parties. Antoine can tell more about that if she likes a little bit later. Different, more interesting program and brilliant facilities. Wow, that is very flattering. Yes. Okay. So I couldn't agree more with you. I summarized a few things that we usually hear from students. Why are they coming to study at this university? And I can agree with that because I also, when I was looking for university, I also came because of some of these reasons. You already said, IT, for instance, IT is one of the most popular programs in general in the Netherlands, and at Fontys, definitely. Together with business, so international business and IT are the most popular programs. Of course, we have also specialized programs. We will talk about it a little bit later, but definitely IT attracts a lot of people in business too. Something that is very special are, of course, as you already said, are the internships. You know that not only you will work on projects during your studies, but that you will also actually go, to work for 2 companies during your studies. So basically, for 2 times of a year, you will collect work experience with which you can then apply for a job afterwards. Yeah, one little thing that is also extra, you have 1 semester where you can go abroad as well. Abroad means that you can choose one of, at the moment, 126 partner universities around the world. You can spend half a year at one of these universities. Of course, as we are now in a more tricky situation, yeah, restricted traveling, COVID, that is something that Antoine can tell us also a little bit later about. Yeah, because she had plans also to study abroad, but at the moment because of Corona, this is restricted. Yeah, and of course, as you already said, lots of projects with companies. I can tell something about that as well because I was also during my studies working with different companies already. Okay. Yeah, what we have over here, you already said it, project-based learning. So basically each semester you will work on projects. Yeah, it's not said that because you study at the university that you will have only study theoretical knowledge, but you will also work on projects where you can apply that knowledge. Yeah, we can provide a few examples later on if you like. Lecturers, you already said, kind lecturers, I agree with that. I had kind lecturers. Experts, so people that were working before they actually became a lecturer. So we had people that were working for Lufthansa, for Coca-Cola, for instance, for some business consultancies, and they were actually my lecturers. So it was very interesting to learn from their own work experience and not just from our books. Yeah, classroom interaction. Basically, what we're doing right now. Yeah, so we're having a so-called online lesson is the way we are teaching at the moment, because you know that during COVID, a large part of the university's lessons were moved to online, and we are doing it exactly in the way we're doing it right now. We're using MS Teams, and we're talking. So it's not that it's a monologue of the lecturer for 2 hours, but we ask a question, then the students answer, we have a discussion, and so on. So basically what we're doing right now. Okay. Yes, and you already said one of the major reasons why people come to Fontys is because it's a University of Applied Sciences. Yeah. It is one of the largest universities of applied sciences. Do you know how many people do study at Fontys at the moment? How many students does Fontys have? Just type it in the chat box. How many students are studying at Fontys? 15,000, 10,000, a few thousand. That is great. Be on the safe side. Okay. Smart one. Exactly. It's 44,000 approximately. 44,000 people. Of course, they're not all on one spot. We have different campuses. We have different university buildings that are located in different cities, of course. Yeah. And as Antoine said, she's studying in Eindhoven. I was studying in the city of Venlo. If we put them all together, we have roughly 44,000 students. Okay, we said it's a University of Applied Sciences. What are the major differences of universities of applied sciences compared to research universities, compared to more classic or traditional research universities? What do you know? What do you know? Again, type it in the chat box. What do you think is the main difference between an applied sciences university and a research university? 1 year extra in research university. Yeah, right, Nishta. Yeah, actually Nishta is the other way around. Huh? So you study 1 year extra at the applied sciences university. If you like, you can guess why. So why do you study 1 year longer in an applied sciences university than at a research university? I can hear more practice, more theory in your research university. Internships. Exactly. So you're mentioning the right things at the moment. Huh? So exactly. If I may summarize what you just said, major difference is that at research university, usually a bachelor program takes 2 years. Yeah. At an applied science university, a bachelor program takes 4 years. Why do we have an extra year? Yeah, you already gave the answer, because of the internships. Yeah, this extra year is filled actually with 2 internships, basically 2 times where you go to 2 different companies to work for these companies and just gain work experience. Exactly. Another difference is, for instance, the class size. I saw one of the comments in the chat box as well, that we're teaching in small classrooms. Exactly. Antoana, if you just unmute, how does a typical class look for you? How many people are in there? Like, can you share a little bit from your experience? Just unmute first. Yeah, I can't hear you. At least I can't hear you. And you're not unmuted. I see that you're still muted. That is strange. Huh. And now it says that you are unmuted, but I still can't hear you, which is strange. Okay. But okay, Antoana, we come back to you when your microphone works again. Exactly. So I can share maybe my experience. So we were taught in classrooms, usually like you experienced from school. Huh? So I was afraid that coming from school to university, I didn't know what to expect. So I was afraid that hey, I might be in a large classroom, in a large lecture hall, like we know it from the American universities, from the movies, that you're in a lecture hall with a few hundreds of people, and that was not the case. Antoana, are you back?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. So just share a few things, like how many people were you in class when you were taught?
It really depends. Usually we are 30 people. This is the amount, and this is how we have lectures. But sometimes we are 4 classes together. If it's only something theoretical, let's say law, and you just have to listen and you have nothing, you don't need to participate or something, then we are more people. And we also have workshops, and during these workshops we are in group of 5. So it depends on the subject and what exactly you're studying.
Exactly. Okay, and you said, so usually you are like maximum 30 people, sometimes small groups of 5. And when you're more people, so how much more is that? Is it like a few hundreds, or how much more is it when you have law?
Maybe 150 people.
Okay, that's still doable. These are just a few classes together then.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Very good. Thank you very much, Antoana. Okay, exactly. So this is also one of the major differences, that you at an applied science university you study in a smaller learning environment, like in a classroom setting, while at research universities very often, you place more people in one lecture hall. Okay, exactly. One thing that is also different is what we just mentioned a few moments ago with going abroad. Going abroad, I can tell you, for instance, one thing: our business students at Fontys, 90% of these students, they go abroad for 1 semester. Yeah, so they all choose to go to Shanghai, to Hong Kong, South Korea, Australia, UK. Some stay in Europe, go to Sweden, some go to Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary, some Russia, Ukraine, and so on. So 90% of these people go abroad, for instance, while at research universities, you still have this possibility. But I know from experience and from statistics that this happens way less. So these students prefer to stay to spend their time at the university, the whole 3 years working there at the university, and finish their studies. Yeah, so that's also a little. It's a different mentality. Yeah, both types of universities are very good. In the Netherlands specifically, you have a very good level of education. Doesn't matter if you go to an applied science or to a research university, and in the end, you graduate with the same degree. It's a Bachelor of Science, for instance, a Bachelor of Arts. It doesn't matter if you're at an applied science or a research university. Okay. As I said, at Fontys we have roughly 44,000 students, but of course they are not all on one spot. Most students, approximately 20,000 students, are located in the city of Eindhoven, as we already said, fifth largest city in the Netherlands. What is it known for? It's the center of the Brainport region. The Brainport region is the most developed region with regards to technology in Europe. Yeah, so basically the people that would like to become engineers, that would like to study something with software, something IT related, they go to Eindhoven, and they very often stay in Eindhoven and work there. Yeah. Then we have another campus in Tilburg. Tilburg is known to be the creative center of the Netherlands. So there you have study programs that are more creative, like digital business, for instance, like arts, dancing, music, architecture, more creative study programs, because the city itself and the environment is a bit more creative. And then you have the city of Venlo. That's where I studied, for instance. You can already see on the picture, there is a river. It's the Maas River. Yeah, the Maas River, you might know it from the city of Maastricht. Yeah, the city of Maastricht. What is it known for? Of course, when you have a river, it's always connected to logistics, you know, transportation. So Venlo is the logistics hotspot #1 in the Netherlands and one of the major logistics hotspots in Europe. So that means that people that would like to work in logistics later on, to study logistics, they usually come to Venlo. Yeah, and maybe one little thing that is good to know. One of the maybe most famous people that studied in Venlo, they studied logistics in Venlo, is Piet Elbers, who currently is the general manager of Royal Dutch Airlines KLM. Yeah, so we're very proud that he studied logistics management at Fontys in Venlo. Yeah, of course, as you already said, lots of tourists in the Netherlands. Yes, and when you come to Venlo, you will see lots of tourists, specifically from Germany and from Belgium, that like to go shopping. 15 minutes from Venlo is the largest outlet center in Europe. Lots of nice brands with reduced prices. So again, a nice shopping destination. Okay. What can you study at Fontys? You see the different study fields over here. You see allied health professions, you see arts, you see communication, you see economics and marketing, engineering, ICT, and logistics and supply chain management. These are the study fields. Let's have a quick look at what study programs are included. When we start, allied health professions, we have physiotherapy, medical imaging and radiation therapy, and a master in care and technology. This is located in the city of Eindhoven. We have arts, and guess where you study arts? Of course, we already said it, in Tilburg. You have the creative center of the, so you have you study dance, you can study circus and performance arts. So this is basically acrobatics. Yeah, music and performing arts, and different master programs in architecture, urbanism, choreography, and so on. Then we have communication. Communication, you study it's in the city of Eindhoven, so it's a national communication management. Then we have Antoine. If I'm not mistaken, this is you on the left, right? On the picture, is that you or not? Can you see it? Yeah, so we have our...
Antoine, your microphone is turned
it's
off.
muted, yeah. Your microphone is switched off, Antoine.
Yeah. I said that I see someone that is in the air. I don't see the slide with me, but if it's someone with the pink shirt, yeah, it's me.
Yes, it's someone with a pink shirt, and then it's written something with north something,
now,
and you're looking to the side. Okay, and this photo is taken in our Eindhoven campus, right? At Fontys in Eindhoven.
Yeah.
Okay, and I guess this is the area where you can have some kind of group work, right? Where you come together.
No, this is the teacher's room, but this is the only quiet place, so we made the photo shoot there.
Okay, because the other places are taken by students.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, and now we come to actually your field, economics and marketing. Yeah. So we have international business. That's a study program that I studying and that I studied. We have marketing management. Digital business concept, you can study finance, you know, you can study trend research, also a very creative business program that you can study in Tilburg. Yeah. And then we have, of course, 2 masters in business. Yeah, the business programs are mainly studied in Venlo, except international business is studied in the city of Eindhoven as well, so in Venlo and in Eindhoven. And then we have trend research and digital business, which is studied in Tilburg. So it's basically in all 3 campuses. Okay, then we have engineering, very popular as well. Different fields of engineering: automotive, electrical, industrial design, industrial engineering, mechanical and mechatronics. Most of these study programs are studied in Eindhoven, as we said, offered them in German. So we have people that say, hey, I would like something, no problem. But then you study in Venlo, because Venlo is 2 minutes away from Germany. Yeah, so you will study with in a more German environment, with more students coming from Germany, for instance. Yeah. And industrial design engineering is a program offered in Venlo as well. Then we come to ICT. ICT, you can see it, information and communication technology, or IT in short. yeah, with different specializations that you can see here: business, technology, software engineering, so programming, yeah, infrastructure and media design, yeah. These specializations are offered in the city of Eindhoven. And then we have software engineering and business informatics, yeah, so more from the business side and programming side, offered in the city of Venlo, yeah. So you can study ICT or IT both in the city of Eindhoven with the 5 specializations, or you decide for software engineering and business informatics in the city of Venlo with these 2 specializations. Okay. And then logistics, as we already said, you study it, of course, in the area where logistics is lived, where most companies are located, and this is usually in and around the city of Venlo. So these are the study programs that you can see here: logistics engineering, logistics management, and international fresh business management. So connecting logistics and business and marketing. Yeah, and of course we have a master's program that is also offering logistics. Okay. Irrespective of the study program that you choose, how does the structure of each bachelor study program look like? And we can summarize it maybe here on this slide. You can see that the first 2 years, yeah, so the first year is usually a little bit more general. So students, Netherlands, if they're from abroad, they have to get used to, you know, the subject. You know, some people have some experience in the field of IT or in the field of business. Well, some others don't have this experience. The first year, it's basically to get all people on the same level. So after the first year of your studies, you need to be on the same level, irrespective of having experience prior to your studies or not. On the second year, you dive into your specific study program. If you study IT, you dive into different programming languages, databases, and so on. If you study business, you dive into different business topics. Yeah, if you study marketing, you dive into different marketing topics, for instance. And then we have year 3 and year 4 coming on. Year 3, you can see internship and minor, and that means that most likely you will not be at the university during that time. That means your first internship is the first time you go to work for a company outside the university, and then you can do a minor. Minor means that you can either go abroad, yeah, so to study at one of our partner universities, or you can do a specialization at Fontys. And maybe Antoana, you told me that you are doing a specialization at Fontys. Maybe can you say a few words about that?
Yeah, so as I said earlier, because of COVID, I couldn't go anywhere. So
yeah.
I stayed in Eindhoven, and currently I'm doing Acceleration Academy. It's a minor, and it's 6 different modules. Each module is 3 weeks long. And in every module we do something different. So at the beginning we had leadership course, then we had to develop a business idea. Currently I'm doing artificial intelligence, and the previous module was called Hell's Kitchen, and this was the most interesting one since we had to run a hotel for 2 days. All alone. We were the managers, we were the staff, we were everything in this hotel and in the restaurant. And it was interesting to see what exactly is being a manager in a real environment.
Okay, so and you said that you couldn't go abroad. So what was your initial plan?
Yes, I was thinking of doing a China minor, and I had to be in Shanghai, but I couldn't go.
You couldn't go. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so basically a minor is something like a specialization that you can do. So you can either do it abroad, as you said, in Shanghai, as Antoana said, or you can choose a topic in which you would like to specialize. Like Antoana is just doing, we have other people that like project management, that like event management, that like sports business, you know, that do different kinds of specializations. So you can specialize in your study program. Exactly. And then we have year 4.
Something else for the minor,
please.
Since this is a University of Applied Science, and before doing a master you need to do a pre-master. So if you're thinking of doing a master, maybe it's a good idea to do it rather than your minor, the pre-master. I mean, this is also an option. I have friends that are doing pre-masters now, so that they're not going to waste time after they graduate the bachelor program.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a very good comment, Antoine. Exactly. So what you could do, if you know specifically, hey, I'm definitely going to do a master afterwards, you have several possibilities. For the people that study IT, for instance, we have a bachelor master's track, so you can directly go to technical university and do your master's. But if you you would like to do a business master, for instance, somewhere in the Netherlands, at a research university, because research universities, as we said, are a little bit less practical and a little bit more, they contain a little bit more methodology, logical thinking, mathematics, statistics. You can already do this part. So that's a pre-master that you would have to do after your bachelor. You can already say, you know what, I would like to do this pre-master during my bachelor studies. So you do this, as Antoine said, this academic minor. So half a year you spend to study these exciting fields of statistics, mathematics, methodology, and so on. And then you can automatically move to your master's at the research university in the Netherlands, for instance. So you have different options how to approach that. One little thing I would like to mention is that many people ask, okay, how many people do a master's afterwards? From personal experience, I know, like my study colleagues and the students that I'm lecturing, I know that only a small amount of people is doing the master's right after their bachelor's. Why? Because they usually start working afterwards. Because of the internships, they some of them directly find a job or stay at the company directly where they did their internship and prefer working. And then if they do a master's afterwards, they first work, and after a few years, even the company is very often sponsoring their masters, paying a part of it or paying the whole master's program. So there are different options, but usually after an applied science universities, the university is made like this that you find a good job without a master right after a bachelor's. But good comment, Antoine, with the academic minor. Very nice. Year 4, well, you will come back from your minor or your internship to Fontys for, again, half a year. So you will study again, and then you leave for your second internship. So again, you go to another company where you will gain, again, more work experience. And we have a little overview for you where we usually have students. And here we just mentioned maybe the most known companies. Of course, we have students in smaller companies. Of course, we have students that go back to their home country to do their internship. We have a few companies that we regularly have students at: Walt Disney, that you might know, L'Oreal, BMW. And BMW, it's a German company, but we have students going to BMW in Panama. We had someone, BMW in the US, so Coca-Cola, Porsche, Tesla, Daimler, IBM, Samsung, IKEA, Pepsi, Toys R Us, Vodafone, Philips in Eindhoven, quite popular for Fontys students, Siemens, Hugo Boss, again, German company, but many people going to the US to work at Hugo Boss, Nestle, Switzerland. So these are companies where we have students regularly on a regular basis. What do they do there? They usually work on a project. So internship doesn't mean that you are entering a company and then you're preparing coffee for your employees, for your colleagues or something, but you're working actually on a project. And I will provide you with a little example that I experienced. We had a student at Diesel Fashion, Diesel clothing. Antoine, do you have anything from Diesel? Yeah, just unmute and no? Nothing from Diesel?
Nothing.
Nothing from Diesel. Okay, I have a few things. And the interesting story about Diesel is, that our students, they have to go to a company and they have to help them solve a problem. What is the problem of Diesel? What was back then the problem of Diesel? It was exactly what you, Antoine, said. When people were asked, do you have Diesel clothing? Men said yes. Some men said yes, but most women said no. That's the problem for Diesel. Why? Because they have a female line and they have a male line. And the male line, for men, is performing way better. So more men are buying Diesel clothing than women. And the job of our student was to find out why. So exactly what it was a marketing student. And what do we learn at marketing? We learn how to do market research. So how to figure out, what do people need, what do the customers need, and what to provide to them. So that's what our student did. It was a lady. She was asking people that were considered to be the target group of Diesel, do you have Diesel clothing? Most, women did like Antoine and said no. Our student asked why. Different reasons. The reasons were too expensive. Okay, Diesel is too expensive for you. Okay, that's good to know. Others said, okay, I can imagine to buy something from Diesel, but I don't know where. I don't see any advertisement of Diesel. How is that possible? I see of others, but not of Diesel. Okay. Some said, okay, I simply don't like their design. I know that they exist. I know where to buy it, but simply I don't like the colors. I don't like the design. Okay, and that's very good to know for the company. So our students collected this information and then needed to recommend um, uh, some changes to diesel. So how to what to provide to these people that said, okay, we would like to buy diesel, but we don't know where to find it. Okay, so that means how to advertise it better, how to promote it better. Yeah. So she asked the people, okay, so how are you actually informing about clothing? Do you do it online? Do you go to the stores? What are you reading actually? Are you reading something online? Are you watching something online? Yeah. And then Diesel said, okay, when we know all of these things, we know how to advertise, how to promote. We know that these people are watching that and that series, or they are listening to that and that podcast. So we might place some advertisements, during that podcast, for instance. Yeah. So projects like these are happening during an internship. You always have to apply what you learned at the university at Fontys to help the company. Yeah, like the case with Diesel. Okay, and now let's come to some practical matters. Do you need to do to study at Fontys? We have basically three requirements that are valid for most study programs. I say most study programs because we have specific study programs for dancing, for music, where you have to apply or to provide some additional materials, like a portfolio, for instance. Yeah, but for most programs, you need to finish school, secondary school. You need to, again, for most countries, you need to provide a proof that you speak English. Yeah, most students provide a language certificate like IELTS, Cambridge, TOEFL, TOEIC, or whatever. We accept a lot of different certificates, and of course, some study programs require that you, for instance, if you would like to study finance or marketing, for instance, that you have some kind of experience in these fields, that you maybe had some work experience, or maybe that you know a little bit about these fields, or maybe you had these subjects at school, that you have some kind of idea that what you're going to study there. Yeah. Okay. Then how can you apply? You can apply by this page that you can see in the middle, studylink.nl. Click on link. I would like to study at Fontys. You choose campus. Is it Venlo? Is it Tilburg? Is it Eindhoven, for instance? Which study program? And when would I like to start? And you can see that we have two starting dates. For most study programs, so actually for all study programs, it is June. That start in September. You can apply until June 15th. Yeah, so we can send in all your documents, upload all your documents, until the 15th of June, and then you're going to start studying in September. We have a few study programs, and this is, for instance, IB, the International Business Program, and Venlo, or some of the ICT study programs that you can also start in February. Yeah, so basically they are going to start from next month on, but of course the application deadline you see was the 15th of November. So for you, important to know, if you would like to start studying in September, your next application deadline is the 15th of June. Until then, you need to at least register in StudyLink and say which study program you would like to study in which city. Okay, tuition fees. Tuition fees are, as you can see over here, for EU students and for non-EU students. Yeah, the Netherlands or the EU makes a difference where you based on the country you come from. For EU students, 2,168 euros per year. Yeah, not per semester, per year. For non-EU students, it depends if you would like to study something IT related or not. IT related study programs, as you can see, it's on the bottom, 10,430 euros. And if you would like to study something with business, for instance, pay 8,150 euros. Yeah, these are the tuition fees. These fees are government fees. Yeah, so this is nothing that Fontys thinks of, but this is the Dutch government that says, okay, the tuition fees for this year are that and that. Yeah, so we just inform you what the government decides. Okay, something that's a lot of people ask very often is the living cost. So how much money do you need per month to live in the Netherlands? And then we usually mention 700 to 1,100 euros a month. It depends, of course. It depends on how much you are spending. It depends where you live. Yeah, if you have a small room, a large room, So in between. But maybe Antoana, what about you? Like, can you give us a rough estimate of how much money you need per month?
Oh, it really depends. For example, the first year I was living in a room provided by Fontys, and it was very cheap. It was maybe 300 euros.
Mm-hmm.
So that's okay. Maybe I eat for around 150, but I
Yeah.
don't eat a lot. So maybe for a boy it will be different. And then the other expenses are just going out, but there's always something that you need to pay. I constantly have fees, so I maybe every 3 months I need to pay a fee. And maybe you need to pay some for the transportation. It's very expensive
Mm-hmm.
if you're not working and you don't get the free OV. And also if you want to use the train to travel around, it's also pretty expensive. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're living on a budget, you can do it for 700.
700 euros. Yeah, seven, eight
Yeah.
hundred.
But it really depends on the room and where exactly you live. In Eindhoven, the rents are pretty expensive. My rent now is 460,
Mm-hmm.
and that's from the cheap ones.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the most important is the room.
Okay, and
You're gonna find.
Antoana, you said you were living in a dormitory in the first year, right?
Yeah, in a dorm.
Provided by Fontys, I assume.
Yeah, it was provided by Fontys, and I think they're still doing it, if
Yeah.
I'm not wrong. And now maybe with COVID, there are even more rooms. And also every year they are building new dorms, so there is enough space. So the first year, it's better if you live in a dorm because it's very cheap and it's a lot of fun. And then at least it was like that with me. I'm not sure about now, because when I was first year student, they said that I can live there only for a year, and after that I had to find something else. But now I know people that are allowed to stay even more. I have a friend now
Mm-hmm.
that just signed a new contract, and he's gonna stay in the dorm for a second year. So
Yeah.
this should be checked.
Okay, exactly. So, by the way, something very good that you said. Fontys is one of the few universities in the Netherlands that has accommodation, actually, that provides you, as Antoana, you said, for the first year, you can live in a student dormitory, for instance. As you said, huh? So when you started studying, we had enough spaces. That was also the case last year. For next year, we hope that we have, again, enough spaces for everyone, but the Netherlands becomes more and more popular right now, you know. So many people now consider to come to the Netherlands instead of going to the UK to study, for instance, you know, because of Brexit and some stories related to that. So we have accommodation, but of course, first come, first serve. The people that apply earlier and they say, hey, we would like to be accommodated by university, they will get a place. What happens to the others, you know? So the others that still apply on time, so we said 50, they will be put on a waiting list, and then we as the university are going to find accommodation for these people, or at least to try to find. But again, so far we had enough accommodation for everyone. We hope to have enough accommodation from next year on, but we cannot guarantee it anymore because we have such a large amount of people coming to the Netherlands and to Fontys, so we have to to choose somehow first come first serve basis. Antoana, you said that you lived in a dormitory first year with how many people in a flat?
Yeah, it was an apartment and 3 rooms. We were 3 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were they from? Like you were from Bulgaria, they were from, do you remember?
I was with a friend, so we were 2 Bulgarians. But for 6 months, we were living with a girl from Korea. Again, a lot of fun. And then she left because she was doing an exchange program, I think a minor, I'm not sure. And then one girl from Mozambique came.
Okay, nice. And do you have a funny story maybe? Because you know, someone from Bulgaria living from someone with someone from Mozambique or South Korea, there are some differences, I assume.
Well, right now I can't think of something very, very funny, but the girl from Mozambique, she was sleeping during the day and doing everything else during the night. So she was super party person, always going out and bringing some people in the house. So it was always like a party place, our living room.
Okay, and where are you living now? When you're still in Eindhoven, I guess.
Yeah, I'm in Eindhoven and I moved in a house. It's again a shared house with students. Now we're more people. Now currently six, I think, six people. But it's very close to the city center. So
I assume you have your own room.
yeah, just everyone, all these six people have a separate room, and we're sharing the toilet, the bathroom, and the kitchen.
Yeah. Okay, and that was the same way in the dormitory where you were there, huh? Own
Yeah.
room, everything is furnished as far as I know, right?
This is the most common thing in the Netherlands. You're living in a shared house, you have a separate room, but you're sharing the kitchen and the bathroom. And of course, if you have a higher budget, you can get a studio. This is also an idea.
Okay, and Antoine, I know that you are working as well, right? A lot of people ask, can you work and study at the same time?
You can, if it's very difficult, but you can.
And you are doing that since when? Since when are you working?
Well,
first year, second year?
First year, I was there at the end of August, and the end of September, I already had a job. So I was
Well,
pretty
it is
fast.
quite quick.
Yeah, but it is difficult. I can't deny it. Well, usually the students are working in Deliveroo, in Thuisbezorg, the delivery companies that are biking, or in a restaurant, or in a shop. It's a bit difficult to find a job. At least for me, it was very difficult because I mean, I don't speak Dutch, and mostly in the service related companies they want Dutch, but it's not impossible. And maybe I should tell them where I worked, or I don't know.
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, my first job was in a warehouse in DHL because I didn't know anyone else, and this was the first thing that I got. And then I started looking for something else, and I just went in the city center and I gave my CV everywhere, literally everywhere. And then I moved from DHL, from the warehouse, to a place where I was doing waffles. Then I moved to Vapiano. This is a very famous restaurant in the Netherlands, like fast food restaurant. And then I moved to the retail, and I was working in Bershka and currently in Zara.
In Zara.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Pretty much that's it.
It's a very good example that you're giving, because exactly, huh? So of course, so I know a lot of students like you, huh? So people that speak English, for instance, in another language, but not Dutch. So they have to look, as you say, for a job where they are not directly in touch with the customer, for instance. Yeah? So yes, you said like DHL warehouse or delivery service, or working at a retailer, but maybe not directly serving the customers, but maybe somewhere in the background in the warehouse and so on. Exactly. Yeah. This is like or in restaurants in the kitchen, for instance, something like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
typical.
you just need to know a lot of people. You should be very communicative, because all my jobs that I worked were due to someone I know. So maybe I got connections, I don't know, or I was just lucky. But yeah, you should be very communicative and ask everyone, hey, do you know someone that is looking for someone for a work or something? Because at Vapiano we are mostly Bulgarians, and we were just helping each other. And yeah, if someone asked me, do you know a place where I can work, and I was just telling them, yeah, I have someone that is looking for a job. I mean, at my work. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Be communicative. You take care that you find a job. Of course, you have agencies, they can assist you with that, but you need to be a little bit more active and look for a job. Exactly. And if I have to say, you found a job quite quickly, after 2 or 3 months, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Good. Yeah, we're actually almost in the end of the presentation. Then we can talk a little bit more if you have questions, of course. But of course, we have more students like Antoine. Huh? So we have more students that are happy to share their experience. You can see a few of them over here. The photo is taken in Eindhoven as well. Yeah, so if you go to fontys.edu/student ambassadors, find some more people that you can just write from different study programs, and that you can approach if you like to ask them, hey, what is it like to study there? What about your study program? What are the subjects and so on? One little thing that I would like to mention as well, something that I consider very, very nice is the fontys.edu/meetups page, because there you see the latest events of the university, like the one that we're having right now. So the ones that are coming, for instance, you have webinars. Yeah, we're doing a webinar right now, and you have similar webinars about the ICT programs in Eindhoven from the 13th to the 16th of January, so starting from this week. Yeah, next week we have actually online sessions like this one about all study programs. Yeah, so we have an online open day where you can have these kind of presentations and talks with students and lecturers for each study program of the university. Yeah, because the presentation that we do right now is rather general, about general information about the university, and next week specific study programs will also have such online information sessions. And 1 week afterwards, you're going to have workshops, yeah, for all the programs in Venlo, for instance. So let's say you are interested in studying finance or studying marketing, you can next week you can join the online webinar to talk with a student in marketing and lecturer in marketing. And guess what? I will be the lecturer in marketing. And the week after, we're going to have workshops. So you're not only going to learn something about the study program, but you're going to do a workshop in that field, to experience how it is to study marketing with one of our marketing lecturers, for instance. Yeah, so you can find all of this information on the Meetups page. And of course, if someone would like to ask Antoine, for instance, a few more questions about her experience, about the study program, or ask me about the problem, you find our emails over here. And as far as I know, Linda, you're going to also the Meetups so that people have them, and then of course we're going to send you the recorded online webinar again, so you can review it and review the data again if you like.